never get married and have a kid and it happens to be a daughter and I don't commit suicide.
Okay.
Elsa would be what I would put forward.
Yeah.
Because Allison Duty.
Oh, after the Frozen character. Yeah. Can't do it now.
Yeah, that's like literally what I mean. It's like, no.
Yeah. No. I named her after a Nazi. Jesus Christ.
What's wrong with you people?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. This is episode number 94. On this show, we like to talk about things like comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, definitely not politics, and sometimes, maybe always, Star Trek. I'm your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
Hello, Midget Radio. How are you today?
I'm good. I feel good about the fact that I said the hello at the right mark.
Oh, God, you nailed it. You nailed it. See, that's what being a professional is all about.
Right? You jump right back on it. It's like riding a fucking bike, man.
Yeah. I wasn't sure how we were going to work Star Trek into this, but you can think about it like Shatner, right?
Okay.
He's Kirk. He's Kirk. He's Kirk. He's not Kirk.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's, some guy. He's a police officer. He's all sorts of things. And then 80s roll around, Kirk. All over again.
Like a glove.
Really, like a glove. Actually, 70, 77, 79.
Yeah.
The Star Trek motion picture.
Yeah.
That was
a slightly more inflated glove, but
yeah,
it's all right.
Well, those were weird gloves. Anyway, we're not going to get too far off track. We first need to address the fact that all of the stuff you're going to hear on this show has something to do with alcohol. Midget Radio, I assume that you have an alcoholic beverage.
I do. I'm a little. I mean, I'm drinking beer. I'm drinking Kilt Lifter again because I do not actually have any ice in my house.
You don't want to drink it neat?
No.
I'm not a fan either. Really.
Yeah, right. I like it to be a little cold, and yeah. So yeah, Kilt Lifter. How about you?
I have what is called Rolling Standard, which is Midwestern 4-grain whiskey from Union Horse Distilling Company.
Nice. I'm trying to see if there is a thematic connection. Standard.
Rolling Standard. This is from Kansas City. Wait, which side of the river is it from? I don't know. It's not that important. It's pretty solid. I like it.
Nice.
In any case, we're going to be sipping on some of that while we talk about Jolt. Jolt is some kind of action film starring Kate Beckinsale, available on Amazon. It is directed by Tanya Wexler under the Busted Shark Production Company, neither of which I've heard of, and distributed exclusively on Amazon streaming service, which can be watched without an additional fee if you have Amazon Prime. Midget Radio was free the right price of this film.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Free is kind of right where it's at.
Okay. So you would probably agree with this if I said the writing in this film is a bit shaky, even for an action film.
Yeah. I'd say that's a pretty fair assessment.
Non-spoilerly, well, we're just nailing it already. What did you like about the film?
I mean, it's hard. It's kind of hard to say. I like Kate Beckinsale,
I feel like that was a large selling point to begin with.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't really understand. She has kind of an interesting career because I feel like she's a good actress. She has good screen presence. Anything I've ever seen her in, I've liked her. But I feel like, she's been relegated to kind of like smaller B movies. And I would definitely say this is a pretty B movie.
Would you say that like maybe Pearl Harbor derailed her career because it was such a bad film
I
that was
don't
so
know.
roundly hated by everyone.
I mean, it was not good, but like Ben Affleck's still going strong. So.
But then she got into like the underworld stuff.
Yeah,
and like
man.
The underworld stuff is like really, really popular, but it's not like really, really good.
Yeah. I don't know if that pigeonholed her or what. But...
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I agree with you in terms of Kate, and even in her late 40s, she's still very easy on the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've never thought she was unconvincing in a role in anything that I saw.
Yeah.
Now, some of the stuff that I've seen her in has been terrible, but
sure.
Actually, quite a bit of it has been terrible.
Yeah.
But I think that's more her agent's fault than anything else.
I guess that must be it. You know, you would think that she would be a more in demand actress, even just for the very basic reason that she is like absolutely gorgeous. But like she's competent on screen. I mean, she's good. So
yeah, you just walk around like I don't know. Maybe she's just a little too young still to be like Clark Kent's mother or whatever. Because that was what's her face? I forget.
Oh yeah, Marissa Tomei, right?
No,
Spider-Man.
I said Clark Kent.
I know. I don't know.
That
what
was
you're
Diane
talking
Lane.
about. That's
Diane Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Judge Hershey.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
She's got to be 50s now, right? Diane Lane.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But you've got Marissa Tomei kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
I imagine that there's a longer list of things that you disliked. We can probably save those for after we get into the spoilers.
Okay, I got another thing that I like.
What?
I feel like that the exterior set, like the set that was kind of outside her apartment on the street corner, that was clearly built. Like, and I like that.
It is very obviously a set, too.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely obvious. And I actually kind of really enjoy that part. I don't know why. I just like it. I thought it looked good.
Yeah. I mean, there's an artfulness to this film that I guess. Now, I don't know if I agree with the director's predilection towards always putting the character who is talking in the middle of the frame.
Yeah.
But, I think, they're just taking like the reverse shot a little bit too.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was affected by a certain unnamed virus from an unspecified origin, because then maybe none of these people were ever in the same room together.
That's so fucking possible.
So, I feel like in a certain way, I like the art direction of this film.
Yeah.
And part of it is actually that set, which is very clearly a set, but it's like the pretty ugly.
Yeah.
Like, right? It's very artful in how it is grungy and terrible. And if you were to take this to like a comic book place, you're talking about like McFarlane's art in Spawn.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally. Could see that for sure. Yeah.
Which was just horrendously awful, but it was really, really artful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was definitely like highly influenced by Atomic Blonde, and not just because of Kate's hair color in the movie, but like the exposed brick, the neon lighting inside of her apartment. A lot of that felt like, and even Atomic Blonde with the like spray paint, sort of graffiti credits and stuff like that. I feel like this movie drew a lot from that one.
Yeah, I don't think that's the only influence.
Yeah.
I do actually want to talk about that towards the end.
Okay.
What genre would you say that this film is in? Would you say it's just action? Would you say it's action thriller? Or would you go with Wikipedia's answer, which is an action comedy.
I could see action comedy. There was part of me that felt like it was a blend between an action movie and a romantic comedy.
They had like one joke.
I know. I'm not saying it was funny, but that's kind of what it felt like to me. Because there's a lot of just weird, like, stupid relationship-y stuff in this movie.
Because I originally wrote action thriller because there is a lot of theoretical mystery solving here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I would say a lot more of that than that's funny.
Yeah.
Would you recommend this film to anyone?
No, I wouldn't. What about you?
I mean, if you can watch it for free, I didn't hate myself for it.
Yeah.
I would say probably not, unless they were like really, really bored and or whatever, or they were talking to me about how they're like, you know who I haven't seen in a movie in a long time? Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
You can watch her over there. She does a good job at doing what Kate Beckinsale does.
Yep. Yeah, she does.
Which is say her lines competently and look nice while doing it.
Yeah.
All right. So before we jump into spoilers, we always do this stupid thing. Netflix old school rating system. 1 to 5. What would you give this?
It's been a long time.
3 was liked it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with 2, I think.
2 is the correct answer.
Yeah,
I agree with 2. All right, so plot synopsis. I wrote this out because I really enjoyed writing out plot synopsis for To Boldly Go Drinking.
Cool.
Maybe we'll do a mega episode of one of the new train wrecks. I mean, Star Trek series.
Yeah.
The episodic was fun. Anyway, so synopsis. Kate Beckinsale plays the part of Lindy, which is incidentally a name I don't really like, in full disclosure.
Okay. Why?
It is, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a real name.
Sort of
Lindy?
like maybe a Lindsay, but...
Right?
It's weird because it's not even like, I mean, you're still popping out 2 syllables, so it's not like really...
You're not doing much for yourself.
Yeah, Lindy. Yeah, I don't know. All right.
Yeah, in any case, it is thoroughly explained to the audience that Lindy is a girl who has had what is described as an almost superhuman level of anger brought on by her parents' latent indifference, alcoholism, and neglect. I think the short story is that they tried everything to help her, and apparently a breakthrough technology that delivers feedback through an electrical pulse helps her to not become hyper-violent. Personally, this seems like a shock collar that you put on a dog.
Yeah.
Or
didn't seem much more advanced than that.
Less targeted than electroshock therapy. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Lindy is emotionally stunted. So when she actually has a positive date with a man, she's head over heels, only to learn hours later that he's been murdered. Lindy goes on a beat and sneak expedition through the local police department and criminal underworld alike, even finding her not quite ex-boyfriend's employer, Barry, and then the even more secretive fellow who was actually the not quite ex-boyfriend's boss, who is a guy who's really, really old.
Very old.
She's captured by the really, really old guy's henchman, who threatens her only to release her before asking the old guy what he should do about it, which of course he says you should have killed her. She fights her way back to to face the old guy, which included a baby throwing scene. And if I remember anything about this, in 5 years, it will be this baby throwing scene.
That was something.
Only to get captured again almost exsanguinated before she kills henchman number 1, before making her way back to the old man, who's already dead because, gasp of all gasps, he's been murdered by her not quite ex-boyfriend who wasn't actually dead, but was a CIA guy who's just pretty much just a dick. He then reveals that he has basically co-opted everybody in her entire life this whole time to get her to do this thing. So she kills him with C4. That, I guess, is the C4 from her apartment, which also destroyed her apartment. Then begins the denouement, which lasts another 20 minutes, where she beats up her psych, gets shot by the police, and maybe or maybe not arrested, not really sure. They mostly forgive her for what seems like a not inconsiderable amount of crime throughout this movie. And then she goes back to her C4'd out apartment to have some sequel bait along with Susan Sarandon with some freshly dyed red hair.
Yeah.
So, Midget Radio. Was this the longest uninterrupted narrative introduction to a character you've ever seen?
It does kind of feel like that. But I mean, I feel like every point you made was important to make. So, you know.
I didn't have to go into, well, first they tried just to drug her. And then they tried psyche, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they sent her to the military, which apparently the military practices with like hand-me-down American Gladiators equipment.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting, but I'm pretty sure isn't actually a thing.
I don't know, but
you never know when you're going to have to joust with Al Qaeda.
Right? Be ready for
So anyway, anything. And then apparently she's still doing all of those things except for being in the military because you pretty much can't hit a senior officer, and you certainly can't hit him multiple times and expect not to end up subject to the UCMJ. But all that aside, I feel like you could say they did everything. They tried to help me. They drugged me. They did the other thing. They did the other thing. And you could have like cut 3 paragraphs out of that.
Yeah.
They sent me to the military, and like that was supposed to help me control my rage, to give me an outlet to do all the other things and et cetera. So it's just like, I don't really care. Can we get on with this?
I mean, it's hard to like understand whether she still has any sort of relationship with the government, and if so, what the nature of it is. Honestly, like that beginning scene and pretty much the entirety of this movie, it kind of felt to me like maybe 2 or 3 people in a room just pitching ideas, and they never actually agreed on anything. They just threw all the ideas into the script. So they're like, yeah, she's fucking like CIA military badass. Okay, cool, man. But also she was like a bouncer once. Oh yeah, all right. And she just got fired from being a bouncer, because of the whole violence thing. Sure. Yeah, why not? So she's in between jobs, but she's still in the CIA, I guess. Yeah. I mean, just throw it all in there. And it's fine. Like, especially throughout the ending. My God.
Well,
she gets arrested. No, she doesn't really get arrested because the cops like her. Well, she is arrested though. Yeah, okay. Just whatever. Stick it all in there. Like,
you're definitely arrested. Now I'm gonna walk away.
I'm gonna go back to my house. Okay.
I'm gonna eat this yogurt out in the hallway.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the beginning for like a minute. But it was I liked the whole like story of this little girl or whatever who was pissed off and inconsolable, and all of that stuff was like fun for a minute. But
the opening is like 4 or 5 minutes of just storytelling. I think, okay, this is an unfair comparison. It's kind of like when Plinkett compares episode 1 to Citizen Kane or whatever.
Sure.
But I guess it was the prequels in general to Citizen Kane. Don't correct me. Anyway, if you were to look at like Batman Begins, they get you through Bruce Wayne's childhood in a hurry.
That shit is really efficient. Like his child, right? Yeah, he's a kid, and then he's like, I don't know, in his 20s maybe. I don't fucking know.
Oh yeah,
but yeah. All of that was super efficient.
And like in this case, you can do the jumps in time.
Yeah.
You can have hell. Like the typical thing to do with this sort of thing is to do it under the credits.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, you've got Bonefish or Bonehead. What's the name of this production company?
Yeah.
We've never made anything. Busted Shark. I'm not sure where I got Bone from. Anyway, Busted Shark Production presents starring Kate Beckinsale and other people.
Yeah.
A so-and-so production brought to you by Amazon. Watchable on Amazon.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to Amazon, etc. So, like, you could do that, and you could have the voiceovers, you could have doctors talking to each other, you could have, and you still get through it in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like somebody's just like, hey, pay attention. This is what you need to understand before the story makes any sense. And even then, no promises.
It's still pretty shaky. Yeah. It's still pretty shaky.
Did I miss anything in the synopsis?
No, I don't think so.
It was spot on. God, I'm such
And I mean, they repeat it like a bunch anyway, which I never fucking understand. It's like her first session with the shrink. It's like, no, I have all this cortisol in my system. It's like, well, we know. I just saw the fucking introduction. I just saw it. And he knows. Why are you telling me? Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of that in this movie. There's also like a strange tendency for...
Maybe they shot all that stuff, but it just didn't work.
Maybe.
Because the director hasn't done anything.
I guess. Yeah, they like to do like flashbacks too. Like after you find out her boyfriend gets murdered, which is literally like 5 minutes after their date ends probably. And she's like flashing back to all the times that she spent. And it's like, we just saw this. Like we just saw this scene.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
This is in fact the third time that I've seen the same sex scene.
I get it. Like, I saw
the sex scene the first time when you killed him. I saw it the second time when it lasted the maximum amount of time before it got super awkward. And
there's a part of me that wonders if like people are making movies now just assuming that the viewers are already on their phones. Like, I'm scrolling through fucking Facebook. Look up. Okay, that's the boyfriend. Back to fucking Facebook. Like, so they just show you the same shit over and over. Just to make sure.
Yeah, were you in the bathroom last time? Were you sending a Snapchat, whatever? I'm not even really sure what that is, but were you doing one of the things the new kids do?
Yep.
If you were, she's got too much cortisone.
Yeah. That's
cortisol
important for you to know. What's cortisol? I don't know. Sounds sciencey. So.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell it. Midget Radio, you kind of sold me on this movie on being a Crank clone. Did you remember that?
Yeah. That's what it was billed as, kind of. But you watch the trailer and you're like, oh, right, she's shocking herself to like go bust ass. That sounds like Crank.
As it turns out, it's kind of the anti-Crank.
It kind of is, right? Because she's like, oh, I'm too amped up. So
there's a lot of gratuitous violence that is hypothetical.
Yeah, that is true.
Because the amount of ass kicking that she actually does in this film, is actually very limited. She totally does beat the shit out of that waitress.
Yeah. I kind of liked that because it was sudden and and it was a waitress. Like, there's just something I sort of enjoyed how like completely unnecessary and unexpected it is. Like, she's not like, she's just a waitress, you know. She's not a bad guy.
Well, she's getting like amped up over all sorts of things. Like, that person's being mean to that valet, and that person's
God. Yeah.
and that waitress is making fun of my date, who I don't even want to be on a date with.
Which is the there is a lot of like straining of credulity. Like, there was part of me that was like, what, this valet scene seems a little fucking gratuitous and obvious, but fine. But like the waitress being a straight up cunt. Like,
Yeah, in the bathroom on the phone.
Right?
By the way,
I mean, at the table to the fucking guests, and then calls up a friend to tell her friend what a cunt she was to some guy at the restaurant. What the fuck, man? When does that happen? Like,
and then it's like, you go, girl. It's
Yeah.
like, what? No.
What the hell is this?
I didn't really understand that. But like, if you take that, because that's actually probably the scene where she actually does kick the shit out of somebody legitimately.
Yeah.
Like, she gets into a fight with the three dudes.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that I would even say she won, but in any case,
Yeah.
she does well enough that Barry, who I swear to God was Justin's boss. Right?
Yeah,
He said
like-
he works exclusively for Barry.
Yeah. Which
You're
that
like-
was another like weird red flag moment in the movie. You're like, somebody tells you, I'm an accountant and I work for, you know, a single company or whatever, and his name's Barry. And I was like, well, that's weird. Like,
Barry
why
Incorporated.
what the hell? Like, why wouldn't you ask a follow-up question after that? Like,
Well, you see, she's awkward.
I guess so. Maybe that's it. Oh, Barry. Okay, cool.
So I think you could be theoretically employed by somebody who did have enough single-handed business interests
Sure.
to warrant having a person who just does finances for them.
Sure. I think that's fair. I just
And there-
think that, you know, you probably want to find that out. Like,
Sure. I don't know. This took place in a city. I don't know what city.
True.
I believe it was Los York,
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
or either that or New Angeles.
New Angeles.
But yeah, there was a lot of stuff, because like at the beginning I was like, I'm not sure if some of this writing is like really clever or terrible,
Yeah.
and I think I started to lean more towards bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you go back to that scene right before she beats the ever living shit out of that waitress,
Yeah.
like, I've never led with a conversation about all the STDs a girl I dated had.
Sure. No.
And like, even when they go on their second date, there's like a lot of awkwardly forward banter.
Yeah.
I just don't know that would work.
No, I
Let
doubt
me-
it, which is what made it feel sort of like romantic comedy-ish to me. Like, it was cute. A little too fucking cute.
Yes.
Which was, I don't know. It's just,
And like, I mean, there's even little things. Like, even so, she wakes up and she's like, "Good morning," and she's like, and he says, "It's closer to good afternoon."
yeah.
And then she goes to her psychiatrist. This really bothered me.
Okay.
She goes to our psychiatrist and she's so happy she wants to start drinking with him.
Yeah.
What does he say?
I don't remember.
He says, it's only 10 a.m. It's too early to drink.
Oh, God, does he say that?
He does say that. McDonald's is still serving fucking breakfast.
This is a pretty sloppy movie.
This is a sloppy movie. When he said that, I would be like, you could still get an Egg McMuffin?
Right? Yeah.
Who is this guy? Like, you had time to get dressed, probably wash yourself up so that you didn't smell like you. Yeah. Anyway, then go
it's
to your.
Technically closer to the afternoon, but I mean, even 8 a.m. is technically closer to the afternoon. You know,
Let's suppose that her psychiatrist's office was directly across the street. If you didn't want to smell like you had sex and look like you had sex, and like right then and there, you'd probably like take a shower, get dressed, go across the street. I'm going to guess that takes at least 20 minutes.
Yeah. She's a lady too, so, you know, maybe it's...
I mean, right. So if you go across the street looking as good as Kate Beckinsale, it's probably going to take a little bit longer than 20 minutes.
Probably.
Anyway, of course, you also, if you're Kate Beckinsale, apparently wake up after all of that looking fantastic anyway.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, that's true.
It's like they were powdering your nose immediately before this scene started.
Another one of her superpowers.
Didn't it kind of seem like they were like leaning into like she has like this superhuman amount of anger and like, she can do all this stuff?
It seemed clear. Yeah, I mean, yes. Which is why every time that she got taken out, I was like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, a blow to the back of the head. A blow to the back of the head.
Okay.
Why do people keep hitting Thor with the taser? And if he's the god of thunder, why does he keep being affected by it?
It doesn't make sense. And I mean, she's like breaking out of fucking handcuffs and shit all the time. So, you know, what the hell?
One hit. Actually, she gets one hit to the head 3 times in this movie.
Yeah. And then she like shimmies up a skyscraper.
Okay. Yeah. While on her cell phone.
Yeah. It's 3 guys in a room who all have great ideas. I think that's just.
But more seriously, like you get to the end and Justin comes out and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. What a big reveal.
Oh boy.
I mean, as soon as you see the guy, okay, first of all, the problem with having such a small cast is when you see Super Old Man face down.
Yes.
There aren't any other perpetrators. Right?
Nope.
Or you're like,
all by himself.
Oh, did the cops do it? You're like, probably not.
The cops were a little free with their sidearms there, but yeah, probably not.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of bang 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 freeze LAPD.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's he walks out and you're just like, what in the world? And like trying to think back through it, you're like, well, I mean, if you could have shot the old guy in the head and he was actually your boss, why wouldn't you have just done that? Like, what's the advantage of Kate Beckinsale going through all of this nonsense?
This kind of like really, it really fucked up the entire plot more than anything. Because you're like, so he knew that like she was gonna go on a revenge spree. Okay, I mean, I guess maybe.
Okay, so what I want you to do is I'm going to manipulate the guy who's theoretically my boss, Barry.
Yeah.
Barry is going to try to kill her with 3 dudes. Or hell, how does he know that Barry's not just going to shoot her, right?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could argue that like he doesn't care. I mean, he kind of said that, like that, you know, he did. If you weren't successful, right? Then okay, no big deal. I guess.
But then, like, he somehow convinced Barry that Super Old Guy is the actual guy who killed him. Yeah. So that he immediately gives that information up, but he doesn't want to give that information up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just his personality. He doesn't want to give the information up. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
But it's,
yeah.
But it's like, this is, I mean, if you wanted her to be successful,
Right?
you're throwing up some hurdles here.
Right.
Like,
Quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just kill.
I'm going to count on our 1.5 dates being
Right.
and camera, which was noted in the plot
Yeah.
as just a really ridiculously overpriced gift for having.
That was
Anyway,
bizarre too. I mean, that was just a bizarre move. Because it's
Right?
like you find out, right, that she likes photography, I guess, because she says that.
let me tell you this: Danish and coffee, and still being there at the time,
Yeah.
good enough.
Yeah, totally. And like, if she liked photography, wouldn't you just assume that she had a camera?
No, she did say that she just took
She said she
photos
didn't.
on her cell phone.
She likes photos. She doesn't have a real
Yeah,
camera.
she's
fair.
an extremely amateur voyeur.
That's fair. All right, maybe this movie is much better put together than I give it credit for.
I was paying an eagle-eyed amount of attention to this.
I might have been on Facebook.
Well, you didn't miss most of the important plot points because this one only came up once. But like,
Son of a bitch.
okay, so based on, I guess you could say maybe her psychiatrist is like telling her or telling him directly every little detail of their interactions.
Yeah.
Still,
Maybe.
is there? I guess. I mean, the first time I thought it wasn't well written or like I had missed a line was she shows up the first time to her psychiatrist's office and he obviously pulls a gun on her. And I kind of liked that at that point.
Sure. Yeah.
And she handcuffs herself to the pipe or whatever and they start whatever bantering.
She does tend to
about-
barge in, which is weird. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you knock on the fucking door? But
right?
yeah. All right.
I have too much cortisol. I just open doors.
Yeah. Can't knock.
So, like, she's going on and on about like this is just a disaster and all this other stuff, and he's like, "But you like him so much," and I was like, "What?" It's like,
Yeah.
well, you clearly like the guy. And it's like,
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't think she said anything about that.
Right. I chalked that up to like, I guess he just knows her really well, and can tell. But yeah, it's kind of out of nowhere.
Anyway, so I guess he must be telling Justin about everything, so
Yeah.
that Justin can off himself.
Yeah, or pretend to. Yeah.
Does the
Homeless
psychiatrist?
person.
I guess the psychiatrist has to know at that point that
That would make the most sense, right?
and so then I guess the only reason that they would let her go was so they could specifically disarm her of her original vest.
Yeah.
Knowing that she would go back to him to get another vest.
That was weird too.
And then that vest has a remote control, like a garage door opener.
Yeah.
And it's like way too amped up. Or
I guess you can control like how much voltage or whatever it gives with the remote control. Like that's, I don't know. There must be a dial on it or something.
so he convinced Mr. Torture Man, henchman number 1,
Yeah.
to risk his life under his employer, who cackles at the fact that he kills lots of people.
Yes.
He convinced him that he should let her go without her vest before asking his boss, at which point you just wouldn't ask, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
just be like, oh, well, let her go, sweep
Yeah.
that under the rug.
Put her down and yeah. Right.
So that doesn't make... Anyway, the plot doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't.
Hey, speaking of which, does this violate any of the rules of the action film genre?
I was wondering that.
I think
there is a twist. So there is a twist at the end, which I do feel like is a violation.
So you're allowed a twist.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this twist is like a double cross.
It's a ridiculous, crazy, nonsense fucking twist.
Not only is the guy that you thought was dead alive, but he's not an accountant. He's with the CIA.
Sort of, I guess, yeah.
And he is doing the thing that nobody would ever do.
Yeah.
Which was trying to take down this guy, which apparently could just walk up to at any time.
And just shoot him in the head, right? Yeah.
Right? Like if you can get the guy to release her so she doesn't have the vest so that you can give her a new vest that has a garage door opener functionality.
Yeah.
Then it seems to me you can just walk up to him and shoot him.
Yeah.
So like I think there's like a too clever by half thing. Like the problem with Atomic Blonde was like the double cross.
Oh,
but
it came
endless.
Yeah.
It came in a series of, oh, no, it's actually this way. No, we're going to have you recontextualize the entire film this way. No, as it turns out.
Later. Yeah.
It's this way. Roll credits.
Yeah. Oh, well, shit. Should have known. God damn it.
But in this one, it's just like, it's not really a plot twist. It's a plot pirouette. It's a plot triple axle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that we're trying to get to with the plot twist is ultimately you don't need to make the film that fucking complicated, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it should be simple, straightforward. That's ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, terrorists have taken over the building. Let's get out.
We got to get out of the building. All right. I know what we're doing. I'm ready to engage with this for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
So.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh. What's happened? We can't drive the bus slower than 55 miles an hour.
Ah, fuck.
Oh,
how do we
God.
get off this bus? Shit. Yeah, these are ideal plot lines. Yeah.
A robot assassin has come back for the future. I gotta kill him.
Fuck. He's pretty dangerous. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was mildly pleased to see that, okay, like the introduction was way too long. And
yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I was starting to get a little bit annoyed with the romantic comedy-ness.
Yeah. Me too.
I don't even think it's a romantic comedy because I've laughed at romantic comedies. I just don't think it was funny. I think they might have been trying to be funny. I think we were supposed to laugh at women throwing newborns at each other.
I was not sure what to make of that scene.
I was really uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. I've thought like the first time it's like, okay. All right.
You drop your gun.
Yeah.
To catch the child because
yeah.
If you try to one hand this, like you gotta nestle the head.
I mean, who do you think you are, first of all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then like let's say you catch the baby with one hand and a Glock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you put it down. You immediately shoot her before she picks up a second kid. You started shooting at her before you even realized she would go on a high-speed chase counter to traffic.
That was... God damn it. That was definitely not the first moment, but one of the moments where I was like, this is a very badly written movie. Like, I don't think she's going to shoot at you. And I was like, well, yeah, she's a police. Oh, never mind.
So that was actually the one time I laughed.
It's so stupid. God damn it.
It was clever enough that I thought, like, oh, it's not like she's gonna shoot at you.
Yeah, but it's like she's a cop, man. So all right, this movie's just gonna do whatever it needs to do, I guess, to yeah, make a joke, to fucking whatever.
Hilarious. I really.
I really like that actor, the male, I don't know his name. The Italian guy. The other cop. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I always like him.
Bobby Cannavale?
Yeah, Bobby Cannavale. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good actor.
I think, like, the weird thing is, like, you've got Stanley Tucci in this.
Yeah.
I like him.
Me too, yeah.
I do think Bobby did a solid job.
Yeah.
I mean, even at the end, you end up with Susan Sarandon coming, and you're like, what in the world is happening?
Why?
Here? Yeah, right?
Yeah, that was my first question. Just why? What is this? I mean, clearly a desperate attempt to establish some kind of fucking sequel, but good God.
Do you remember the redheaded scientist looking through the glass at the end? That was a big plot point for me, too.
Super important.
But, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing that, like, if you had any other clue into that scene works better. Like, if you did the Batman Begins thing, but, like, maybe you never really got a real clear look at her, instead of her just being a set piece looking in on the child that's being narrated over.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, that's not clever. What that is cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much this movie.
But, like, the call to action is at 30 minutes. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
that's terrible. That's fucking terrible for an action movie.
For an action movie, it's a little bit late, but for a standard movie, that's actually a really good time. So in this case, if you're thinking they're trying to lean a little bit more into the relationship thing, then it makes a certain amount of sense. But, like, even at the end, when it comes back, their relationship is so forced and weird that when it turns out that Justin is not who he said he was, it's like, wow, shocking.
It's asinine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just asinine. Yeah.
And everybody's kind of turned up to 11 in this. I mean, Stanley Tucci, not so much, because he actually seems to play like a legitimate psychiatrist until they recontextualize him.
That didn't, I mean, even his whole explanation of like, I didn't know they were going to like try to kill you. It's like,
I thought they were just going to do a whole bunch of other terrible things in your life.
But like, what's awesome is you found out how cool you are. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I mean, that made absolutely no sense. I have no idea, like,
it kind of was
how
like
he's atoned for that.
It's kind of like a Captain Marvel thing, right? The problem was all along she never embraced her anger.
Yeah.
And now just think of how awesome she is. Yeah. Now that she is as emotional as she wants to be.
Right. But what's weird is like in this movie, like she's always all up in her anger, like all the time, it seems like.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, what special thing did she learn? Because I mean, what did she learn that she didn't already know? I have no fucking idea. So
I guess that was actually the one part. This might have been the director's fault, but actually when she kind of overcomes the power of the vest.
Oh God.
Like, he keeps like zapping her, but like, there's like no counteracting to that.
There's nothing. Yeah.
So like, I feel like that was probably a direction problem.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I mean, say whatever you want, or that you're going to be able to power through it, but there's a certain effect that enough voltage is going to have on your body.
Right.
It's
I mean,
gonna,
it's
there's gonna be
electricity. Like
some reaction, right?
I was thinking, like, when Stanley Tucci was like, "Oh, you're building up a tolerance to it," or whatever. I was like, "Oh, he must mean that like the electric shocks don't curb her anger, like they're supposed to. Not that she doesn't physically still react to the." Because it's like, well, what, can she hold onto a power line and be fucking fine now? Like,
there is a certain amount of truth to that.
Okay.
Kind of, maybe. Because, like, if you look into, like, deep brain stimulus, eventually the same amount of electricity won't cause the same reaction.
but you would still have a physical, like a muscular reaction to it, right?
Well, not with deep brain stimulation specifically, because that's trying to get your brain to secrete the right juices to make your life a little bit better.
This is like electroconvulsive therapy. Are you talking about?
No, this is like theoretically a palliative care for Parkinson's.
Oh, okay. What are I wonder what the voltages are.
I don't know. I could find out, but I'm probably not going to.
I would hope they don't power a household or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Oh, the batteries last for years, so I can't imagine they're super high. It looked like she was getting hit by at least a few energizers there.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
But like, okay, you get through it, 30 minutes. Okay, I was feeling good about it at 30 minutes. I was like, now we go into badass mode.
Yeah, now the shit hits the fan, and yeah.
But then like, badass lasts 50 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure how many people that we see her just kick the shit out of.
It doesn't seem like much because, I mean, right, one of the first things we get, I feel like, is kind of a fairly incomprehensible car chase.
They're going fast.
Which is fine, but, come on. And then, I mean, the only ones I can think of are the fight that she has with the three dudes in the Fight Club type of scene. And then there's one time when she's initially infiltrating the building where the big bad is. She takes out maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 fucking miscellaneous guards. And that's really kind of about it until you get the big fight between her and the main henchman.
Number one henchman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even that is really short.
Yeah,
and then they cut to behind the door.
Yeah.
And she apparently just dismembers him in some way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't.
No, this movie like absolutely did not deliver on like the fight sequences or the action scenes in general. That for me is the biggest sin when it comes to an action movie.
And then the 20-minute denouement, which is how we have decreed
a
that should be pronounced.
Nonsensical denouement.
Denouement.
Denouement. I like that.
Denouement.
Yeah, because it's like, am I arrested? Yeah. No. Yeah?
No. Because I left.
Definitely left. So
went back home.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking to Susan Sarandon.
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of a big name. I'm like maybe a bigger name 20 years ago, but like still kind of someone who walks in and you're like, why are you in this?
Yeah. Yeah. Bizarre. Yeah. Right. Yeah. What's Thelma doing here? What's Bull Durham's fucking girlfriend doing in here? Like,
now we are, now we're gonna, just hold our breath for the sequel.
Oh my God, I hope not. This movie does not need or deserve a sequel. But her fucking firebombed apartment building. Mm-hmm. So, yes, she disarmed the C4 and threw it in a backpack. And then I guess like reprogrammed it to give a middle finger when it's about to blow up?
That was her cell phone.
Oh, okay. So she programmed her cell phone to do whatever the fuck. But no, she she turned the gas on in her apartment. She turned the gas up way high, and then she stuck like that metal, like a ball of foil or something in the microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was another scene where I was like, well, this is weird because don't you have people living above you and below you and probably next to you? Like,
I don't. Well, first of all, she is a bit of a sociopath.
Sure.
I guess I didn't know enough about arson to even realize that was what was happening.
Yeah. I think that's what. And then she goes back, and it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, it's all burned out. What are you doing?
This is where I live.
Right? What are you talking about? Like,
I don't think so. I think that's
smoldering
condemned.
ruin. Like, what do you plan to do here?
I have to come back to take photos for the insurance company.
Here's my black wall. Here's my black floor.
Here are pictures of my burnt personal items. I'm going to make a schedule and provide approximate value and age for each one.
Fucking State Farm Insurance. Why are you making me do this? It's bullshit.
I mean, isn't it enough that my house burnt down?
Right. Take pictures of it for you, fucking assholes. But
anyway.
Yeah.
So the question I was going to ask actually was Atomic Blonde,
okay,
Jolt, or Peppermint.
Ooh. Oh man. I mean, Peppermint,
because all three of these are basic. Like, I think you could argue that Jolt and Atomic Blonde have a lot in common, at least stylistically.
Yes. Yeah.
The build up actually in Peppermint is closer to Jolt, except that they're going with the mother angle.
Yeah. Yeah. Peppermint is, it's hard to say because, like, script wise, honestly, I mean, Peppermint I think is by far the superior picture here. I mean, I am like, it's hard for me not to. I do like Atomic Blonde. The difficulty with Atomic Blonde is the worst part about it is the fucking screenplay. But like stylistically, I love it, and stunt wise, I love completely over the top, like the kind of crazy stunt choreography that was in Atomic Blonde. It's so much fun. It's what attracts me so much to so many action movies, is super like hyper stylized and really like, I don't know, just really creative, like fight choreography. I don't care if it really strains credulity at times. As long as it's fun and it's creative, I'm on board. But like, yeah, through and through, I don't know. Peppermint is the more solid film among these three.
I would say solidly that Peppermint is in a league of its own between those three, because it actually does pretty much everything that you expect an action movie to do well. Yeah. It isn't over the top. I will give Atomic Blonde and in particular Charlize Theron. One of the things that kind of annoyed me about this movie is like Kate Beckinsale gets just a haymaker to the side of the head. Yeah. And the next scene, she's a 10 out of 10. Yeah. You're just like,
true.
One thing one thing that was interesting about Atomic Blonde was that you both have Charlize Theron, who is a very attractive woman in her own right. Yeah. But like, they were not afraid to show her take a hit and to actually have damage.
Yeah, she was a fucking mess in that movie. Yeah.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
Like I remember I remember her getting all naked and getting in a tub of ice, and you're like, well,
holy shit.
there is something less than completely sexual about this scene.
Yeah.
And like that was really good. The stylistic stuff was kind of interesting, but like at the end, Atomic Blonde crumbled harder than this movie did. In part because it rose above this movie.
Agree. Yeah, agree. It had a much longer way to fall. Yeah.
But it also kept falling.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
Faceplant.
Yeah.
Like, nope. Now I'm going to throw myself off a building. Nope.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to throw myself off this cliff.
This is a spy movie. There's another fucking twist. Like, yeah.
No. Just end the fucking film.
I mean, yeah, you cannot beat Peppermint in that arena. Because it's
Peppermint was great.
By the numbers. Like, and one of the things I thought was kind of cool about Peppermint that sort of separated it a little bit, that kind of set it apart, was that whole, like, I don't remember what they called her, like the Barrio Angel or whatever the fuck. That she became kind of this, like, mythologized, vigilante in some sense. Like, that didn't feel out of bounds. Like, if it was kind of an interesting little creative touch to her story that they didn't really do a whole lot with, which actually made it feel more, I don't know, legitimate to me. They didn't turn her into a superhero, but but there was kind of that narrative there a little bit.
And they actually did a lot of that without showing it.
Yeah, they did. Yes, exactly. Yeah, which is fucking masterful in this day and age. But
I just have to give it to her because I think the line is neither of us are going to prison.
Yeah. Hell yes. That's a fucking action movie line. Like
it's actually outside of the action movie line. It is 110% committed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's 100%. Yeah. Fuck, man. Yeah. That was great. And yeah, I don't know. Honestly, actually, in a lot of ways, and I am sometimes surprised by this, but I think Jennifer Garner is just, like, more likable in that movie. Like, as far as protagonists, if you have to line up the three protagonists.
Well, she's not throwing babies.
Yeah, I mean, she's not throwing babies, and she's not sort of incomprehensible as far as a character. What are your motivations? You're a spy? Okay. So a lot of intrigue. Cool. Do you love this lady that you're sleeping with? I don't know. I guess. But
oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's just about everything I had. I think we're on the same page in terms of this movie.
Yeah, it's a... I don't know. When I saw the trailer, I felt like,
I was disappointed by it.
I mean, I was disappointed by the movie, but, like, when I saw the trailer, it made me feel some sense of gratitude for the sort of proliferation of fucking movies, streaming movies, every goddamn fucking company in the world making its own films and television and stuff. But I was like, okay, at least, this is an action movie. It looks ridiculous. The action film still seems kind of underserved to me as far as, good action movies go anyway. But this is not the movie we need. Maybe it's the movie we deserve, but not the one that we need. No. Sorry.
Actually, this conversation just makes me want to go back and watch Peppermint again.
Yeah, same. I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Yeah.
All right, everyone. That has been episode number 94 of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. Please give us a like if you've enjoyed this video. And, of course, subscribe to our channel so you can hear more of it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And we'll see you again on episode number 95, coming to you in 2023.
Bye-bye.